Hello folks, the Y Guy here again. Welcome to my home on this very beautiful spring afternoon. I want to give a shout out to those of you who helped. Some sent as $25 and others sent $500 to my dentist office to help pay for surgery in here and in my mouth. And you know, I haven't had it done yet because it's considered selective surgery, and for what's going on in the world. Anyway, I still want to give you a shout out and thank you for that. The name of this video is called The Y Guy Exposes a God, small g, named Ego, capital E. You know, what if I were to tell you that when Peter ate of those 5 loaves and 2 fishes, all the people that were present, that their tummies were full and they were satisfied, yet they didn't eat anything? No? Well, why? Because it's written in Matthew 14:20, and they all ate and were satisfied. They picked up what was left over of the broken pieces, 12 full baskets. I want you to remember those 2 words, all ate. All right? It's critical. This is critical to understand. So, you know, I've done videos about this before, a couple of years back, but I'm going to bring it home with this one. All right? So where am I going with this? It states how they all ate. That is so important to understand. That little 3-letter word all is so important to understand, yet most Christians are just not getting it. They're not. And I don't know why. The word all is totally different in that 5 loaves, you know, story than the same little 3-letter word, the same 3-letter word all in 1 Corinthians 15:22, where it says, in Adam all die. In other words, everyone dies, right? Okay, so what did we all do? How did we all participate to be a member of that all group, in Adam's all group? What did we do? Okay, considering it states in Romans 15:18 that because of the act, that's so important, of one man, okay, everyone dies. So this sounds pretty unfair to me. How about you folks? Yet the proof is in the pudding. We all eventually die. You know, the same can't be said about the Peter filling his stomach with fish and bread, so there has to be a difference in reference to the word all. Are you following me? So what's my point? I'll answer with a question. Isn't it obvious there's a dichotomy and an inconsistency between the 2 alls in my 2 Bible examples? In example 1, the people were required to eat in order to be a member of that particular all group. They were required to eat. All right? However, in example number 2, no one is required to do anything to be included as the member of the all group who all die. All right? That's a huge difference. Most people, when they read their Bibles, they'll just skim over that, and it's like, you know, it means nothing. It means nothing to them. But listen up. Simply put, the first example requires an action, as in eating. And the second example doesn't give anyone a choice at all, as in dying. In order to explain what I'm trying to express on this video, allow me to quote from a New Testament Greek site. Check up on me. It's www.nt, all lowercase, www.ntgreek.nt/lesson 24. And I'm going to quote, remember that voice has to do, and I'll explain the voice in a minute. Remember that voice has to do with the relationship of a verb and its subject. In the active voice, the subject performs the action. In the passive voice, the subject is the recipient of the action. Close quote. Here's where the rubber meets the road, folks. Am I the only one who sees eating as a performance and dying as a recipient? You know, using the definition of that New Testament Greek site, in the Matthew verse, the subjects, meaning the all, were the people performing the action. Very important, the action of eating. This makes the all an active voice in the Greek because they performed something. They were required to do something to be part of the all who ate. I'm hoping you're following me. This is why in most, but not in every Greek dictionary, you'll see in parentheses and ACT, which stands for active, next to the Greek root word pan, P-A-N, which means all in English. Okay? Yet you'll see the same word pan in the first Corinthians verse, where it's referring to how we all die. But the difference is in the parentheses. Okay, that's critical, because right next to the pan there'll be a pass, P-A-S, for passive instead of an act, A-C-T, which refers to active. Obviously, in this context of all dying, the subject, us, are the recipient due to the actions of an other, Adam. You following me? Rather than any action of ourselves. Due to the actions of Adam. I hope you're catching this. We're not given a choice. We're simply recipients. We were not involved, because I wasn't around when Adam and Eve were. Were you? Okay? We were not involved, and we are not given a choice in the matter to die or not. I know I'm running this into the mud here a little bit, but follow me. The great news, though, here's the great awesome news, is how the exact same passive all is continually being used when it states in the same verse. In Christ we, no, it doesn't say we, in Christ all will live. Did you catch that? Good news. The same passive all also occurs in over 75 other verses that speak of God reconciling all of mankind. So just like with Adam in receiving death, we are now the recipient of receiving life due to the actions of an other, not our own actions, rather than, I hope that made sense. So we were not involved, and we are not given a choice. Ooh, I know the religious ego hates this truth. They hate it, and they fight it with everything they've got inside of them. You know, with all the yeah buts, and they'll pull scriptures and vomit scriptures like nothing else to prove their point. That's what the ego will do. All right? The snake in the garden was right when it said, you will become like God. The ego of man demands to be in charge and in control, rather than allowing the actions of Christ to determine their destiny. Yes, I'm getting passionate about this. I can't help it. Because the God ego hates that we're given no choice as a member of the all. That those 75 verses I was talking about clearly point out. You know, I'll be happy to supply those verses upon request. Every one of them. I'll shoot them right over to you. So in conclusion to this video, I felt the need to do this video because of the naysayers. There's so many naysayers out there that have recently claimed that my research of the word all was nothing more than BS. That's what I've been hearing. So those in that camp, this is my answer. If I'm full of BS, okay, those in that camp, please, I challenge you to explain why, without our consent or permission or free will, as you want to call it, we all die because of what Adam did. Come on. Explain that to me. Yet the same all will live in Christ, but only with our consent, permission, and free will. Talk about BS. CBS, we've all heard of CBS. No, I'm not talking about a television network. It's called Christian BS. I wanted to say the word, but one of my subscribers said, will you stop using that word, bullshit? Oh, I just did, didn't I? Anyway, CBS, Christian BS, promotes the notion that all means some. Yet in every language, including English, all means all. However, in the Greek, is totally dependent upon context. Okay, as in action or passive, or what somebody's doing, or someone not given a choice. Okay, you follow me. You know, I wrote all about this. I wrote a complete chapter about this, and I explained it in detail in my book, In Defense of God's Love. This is the infomercial time, okay? Written by yours truly. Here's the back cover. Anyway, it's a pretty darn thick book, as you can tell, all right? So, I got this on Amazon. Trying to sell it on Amazon, and I have it at the least amount that they will allow me to sell it for because of the size. You know, they kind of set parameters. They say, you know, you can sell it for around $10 or all the way up to 300, and I chose around 10. So it's not bad for this size of a book, and especially being a newer book, because I'm not into this for the bucks, folks. I'm just not. I'm into this to see people set free. That's the motive of my heart, to be set free from the God ego. All right. Well, anyway, look me up on Facebook under a group by the name of the Y Guy Group. It's a private group. I asked 3 questions for you to join. And I have a public timeline under the name of Jonathan Jones. I meant to say Jonathan, but I misspelled it because that's not my name. It's an avatar name. Jonathan Jones. You can look me up there. It's public. All right? Consider subscribing to this channel if you haven't already, and give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whatever your little heart content wants to do. But if you're going to leave a comment to, if it's a thumbs down and you think this is BS, prove it. Okay? And be polite in proving it. And please just don't vomit verses. Explain what you mean by the verses. Because if you vomit a bunch of verses to me, I'm going to vomit right back. Maybe. Anyway. Thanks for viewing.